We're talking, now there's articles about her civil rights being like thrown out. It is crazy. It is crazy.
CeCe's WNBA career is starting to look less like basketball and more like an extreme contact survival sport, something straight out of a Hunger Games reboot. Forget finesse, forget her signature three-point magic. The real spectacle is watching her try to cross half court without getting ambushed, as if she's guarding the last roll of toilet paper in a pandemic-era grocery store.
Well, a lot of y'all not honest with yourselves. I've been telling y'all, it's all documented from this season, and I've pulled up clips from last season. We obviously see the targeting. We obviously see the jealousy. We obviously see the hatred. We see it all. Whether you're gonna be honest or not, we see it. Y'all can't come with this excuse of, oh, it's just physical. Bro, Caitlyn had like majority of the flagrant fouls last season. Most of them went.
We're watching a league that preaches empowerment while letting a generational talent get manhandled like she's late on child support payments. Every game turns into a twisted contest of how creatively can we assault Caitlyn today. Elbow to the face? Check. Hip check. At midcourt? Absolutely. Forearm to the ribs? On a layup. Go for it. At this point, her jersey might as well read, "Kick me, I'm talented."
WNBA. Y'all are in trouble. I told y'all. Y'all didn't want to protect my precious CC. Now y'all getting hit with a civil lawsuit for targeting. You hear me? And then this stuff is documented. That don't even make no sense from players just speaking freely, thinking that they won't have no consequences. That means somebody had them on the payroll. You know what I'm saying? She done had 4 injuries within like a month and a half. Disgusting.
But don't worry, the league isn't ignoring the problem. Oh no, they're addressing it. Which, in practice, means forming a very official-sounding committee made up of people who couldn't pick a basketball out of a lineup, chaired by someone who probably thinks WNBA stands for "We're not bothering anyone." Their current disciplinary system, a highly scientific process involving blindfolds, a dartboard, and a wall covered in random punishments, purely vibe-based justice.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. So, I don't really talk about politics, but once politics enter my world, my rule is, I say this, we gotta talk about it. So politics are coming to our world, my world, sports, and now in Caitlin Clark's world, which is so unfortunate. I feel sorry for Caitlin Clark because she's a pawn of this whole thing, and I think Caitlin Clark needs to speak up. I'm tired of her being silent.
Now you might wonder, why does Caitlyn keep taking such brutal fouls? Simple. She's too good. The kind of good that transforms routine defense into episodes of Real Housewives. Elbow edition. You'd think opposing teams would just train harder, but no violence is quicker, and apparently way more entertaining to officiate. And by officiate, I mean turn a blind eye while casually sipping.
How bad? You know how bad and nasty things gotta be for the Wall Street Journal to talk about going after y'all for her civil rights being violated? Do you know how bad it has to get? That's how nasty things have become. And you guys like to sit there and make it seem like we're making things up. We're not making nothing up. Kathy Engelberg treats Caitlin Clark like she's a headache and a disservice to the league.
Meanwhile, the refs are acting like they've entered the witness protection program mid-game. You'd swear they're getting paid by the missed call. CeCe gets clotheslined, and the officials are too busy watching the Jumbotron replay of their own incompetence. At this point, you have to wonder if they're still holding some grudge from her college days. Because even while E. Coyote is taking notes on how many times she's been ambushed with zero consequence, and isn't it precious how certain folks suddenly develop selective blindness when it comes to the obvious. Like, oh, I don't know, the 6'9" center, built like a Marvel supervillain bulldozing through every screen like she's clearing a mosh pit. But sure, let's keep pretending this is just how you welcome a rookie. Elbow her, Instant Street, cred, flatten double C, boom highlight reel. Want to trend on Twitter. Slam her to the floor and pose over her like you just claimed a UFC title belt. Nothing says women supporting women quite like turning your most marketable player into a human crash test dummy.
league, and that's understandable because there have been fantastic players in the WNBA for a long time. But Caitlin didn't disparage them. She just came in and kind of changed the game with her style. So I think it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, maybe I don't think it's fair based on the previous women who have been in this league, but it's not Caitlin's fault. All she's done is elevate the game for all of us. And I think instead of being pissed off about that, you should be.
And don't even get me started on the people chirping. Well, she just needs to toughen up, right? Oh, sure, because when your kneecaps have migrated to your upper thighs and your spine's been adjusted by a flying elbow, the obvious fix is mental resilience. Next thing you know, they'll slap a helmet on her and call it character building. You'd think anyone at WNBA headquarters might notice that letting your brightest star get manhandled night after night on national TV probably isn't the marketing strategy they had in mind. Instead of growing the game, they're growing Caitlin's bruise collection. The only thing going viral is footage of her getting wrecked like she accidentally wandered into an NFL scrimmage, because when enforcement disappears, toughness doesn't magically fill the void, chaos does. And let's be honest, if this were happening to anyone else, if it wasn't Caitlin Clark, we'd already have hearings, press conferences, and 5 different retroactive suspensions in the books. But since it's her, we get a shrug, a meme, and a chorus of 40-year-old ex-players with Twitter fingers blaming her for being too hyped.
Kathy Engelbert, where are you? Where are you, Kathy? Nowhere to be found. You are quiet. Quiet as a mouse. It done got real spooky, I know. Nightmare on Elm Street is what I'm talking about, Freddy Krueger style.
Let's talk about the Olympic-level mental gymnastics some people are pulling to defend all this. Asterisk, it's part of the game. No, it's not. Playing defense is part of the game. Taking someone's knees out like you're auditioning for a mob movie, not part of the game. Asterisk, she needs to earn respect. Oh, so respect now comes via flying elbows and intentional blindsides. Got it? And a special shout out to the conspiracy crowd claiming anyone who complains is just protecting the white girl. Adorable, because nothing says progressive sports discourse like using race as a hall pass for blatant assaults. Newsflash, accountability doesn't care what color your jersey or your skin's. Bad behavior is bad behavior. And if you need to rack up 3 felonies a night just to look tough, maybe you're not actually that good. Meanwhile, the league's over here preaching about growth, expansion, and visibility, while CC is out there getting bodied nightly like she owes someone money. Yeah, nothing says brand growth like letting the future face of your league get slow-motion beatdowns for the world to watch. At this rate, next season might as well feature cage walls and award the MVP a steel chair.
Game serious, you don't have no integrity. You hear me? You allowing these assaults on my precious CC, but you have your favoritism when it comes to certain other players who not even the face of the league. They just hoopers. They ain't bring no awesome revenue. They ain't bring no awesome viewership. They ain't bring y'all out of the shadows to the mainstream. Now we see everything that's been going on.
And let's talk about Griner for a minute. The media can dress this up as just basketball, but when you're standing next to someone who makes LeBron look average and they're playing like the rulebook is optional, you can't help but wonder if something's off. There's dominant, and then there's asterisk. Wait, is this even legal? If a player is towering over the competition and bulldozing through bodies like a semi-truck in sneakers, maybe it's time for some uncomfortable but necessary conversations. So, what's the fix? Let's start simple. Enforce the rules. Radical? I know. But if you start handing out fines and suspensions like Halloween candy to anyone who deliberately tries to detach CEC's shoulders from her torso, the message might actually sink in. If that doesn't work, maybe equip referees with tasers and let them zap anyone who confuses basketball with professional wrestling. Because here's the truth. When you combine massive physical advantages with 0 consequences, you don't get competition. You get chaos. And right now, chaos is winning.
Maybe WNBA leadership should at least have to go sit in front of some people and answer some very uncomfortable questions. Lord knows I would love to see that. Because Kathy Engelbert and Adam Silver, it seems to be nothing to see here. Please move.
The clock is ticking. Every time the league lets this slide, It reinforces a culture where violence is a strategy and silence is official policy. And sooner or later, it won't just be Caitlin, it'll be every player, every team, every game. Once your league turns into a soap opera with bruises, you can't act shocked when real talent starts packing up and taking the fans with them. If the WNBA wants to be taken seriously, they've got two options: police the court or get policed by someone else, because the only thing more humiliating than letting your brightest star get assaulted night after night is believing no one will call you out for it. Keep ignoring it. And soon, Caitlin Clark's career highlights will be available in a compilation titled Assaults That Somehow Weren't Fouls, complete with bonus commentary from refs who were busy looking the other way. The receipts are time-stamped, and impossible to spin. This isn't let the players play. It's let's see how far we can push someone before ESPN has to blur the footage.
There comes a point where people have to use the brain that God gave them and understand that before you write an article, you really need to think about what you're writing. You really need to take a step back, or roll your chair back, open your eyes, and realize that what you write, you might not want to write. It's like an email response to something that you have happen at work. Write it, delete it, and then take a.
Let's not kid ourselves. This isn't some natural evolution of the game. It's a coordinated culture of unchecked aggression, neatly excused because the target happens to be young, white, successful, and worst of all, popular. Think popularity would protect her. In the WNBA, it's a bullseye. She fills arenas. That's threatening. She shifts ratings. Now, she's the villain. It's high school politics in sneakers, made even more absurd by the pearl-clutching of bitter ex-players suddenly playing gatekeeper. Asterisk, she hasn't earned her place. Oh, so it's a sorority hazing now. You can't sit with us unless you've been here since 2002 and averaged 5 points a game during the Bush administration. Please, CC's resume reads like an MVP cheat, code not, a punching bag job description. And yet here we are, a league letting it happen, shrugging, then patting themselves on the back for being tough. The NFL would have shut this down before the second commercial break, with 30 lawyers and $1 billion lawsuit on deck. But Caitlin, no, let her get flattened. It's character building. And hey, if it spikes ratings, even better.
I know she's trying to be like this Gandhi figure, try to be like MLK, passive aggressiveness, but peaceful. I get it. But I think it's time for Caitlin Clark to speak up for herself. She needs to speak up for herself because she's allowing these people like senators talk about her civil rights are being violated, which is
Playground logic. In a professional league, if she's better than me, she has to be taken down. No real strategy, no professionalism, just raw hostility dressed up as hustle. And the WNBA, in all its infinite wisdom, is letting it happen. Why? Because they're scared. Scared to rock the boat. Scared to enforce the rules. Scared that doing the right thing might upset the wrong people, so they say nothing, do even less, and hope no one sues. But someone will be, because this won't stay cute forever. The second CC's injuries cross into career-threatening territory. You can bet her family's lawyers already have a folder labeled Exhibit A. Even casual fans are starting to ask, asterisk, isn't this illegal? That's not a headline your league wants. Trending, it's a PR disaster with a legal invoice stapled to it. And here's the ugly truth. The longer this goes on, the clearer it gets that the league is banking on her not fighting back. Big mistake, because one day she's going to walk into a courtroom with a reel of evidence, a powerhouse attorney, and a flawlessly worded statement about workplace safety, negligence, and systemic failure. She won't win, when she expose. And when that happens, the WNBA will have no one to blame but themselves for turning their brightest star into their most dangerous critic.